first players to kind of donate to Damar's foundation? Why was that something that you wanted to do? What was that for you specifically?
I think this has been something that I have personally been affected by, especially with it happening to a Bills player, the Bills fan base, and just a lot of people that support of Buffalo have donated to my foundation through a win. Now this is something completely different. This is a tragedy that something happened, and so one way to show our support is we wanted to give back. I mean, in the way that we can, and I think the outpouring of support that not only he has received from people in the NFL, his family has received, it's just from, I mean, really the entire country. I mean, shows that this is so much bigger than the game of football and the impact that football can have on so many different communities, so many different lives. And so that's just a small thing that we can do during this time, is just to show our support that our prayers are with him and his family. And that's not one thing that we just say. Thoughts and prayers is a word and term that a lot of people use. But the power of prayer is real. And I know one thing for my family, me, JJ, even my kids, we've been on our knees praying for his health and praying for him and his family, the Bills organization, everybody in Cincinnati, and so many people that were involved with this thing. And so the donation is small, but we're really thinking about him and praying that he's going to push through with everything.
What was you and JJ's initial reaction when you saw it just start climbing into the millions? As you said, I mean, obviously it very personally affected you guys a few years ago. Kind of shows how, I guess, awesome the community can be.
Right. I think then that's one thing. I mean, for when it happened to us, it started off as a small increments. The next thing you know, it was thousands of dollars, and then it got into tens of thousands of dollars, into hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that was for us to see this thing get to in the millions and continue to grow. I think it's something that, I mean, just shows that there's so many people that want to support and love on him and his family and everything that they're doing.
I know that Dennis said that he brought in, I guess, a psychologist or a doctor today. As a veteran player, how important is that? You can tell maybe younger players if you want somebody to talk to, because there is the persona of tough guys in football, but I think everybody needs somebody maybe to discuss things with.
Yeah, I think as men and playing this game, like you said, it's like everybody wants to be tough, but, you know, I think the most important thing is to be vulnerable. And if you're feeling something, let people know and get help if you need it. And so, I mean, there's so many resources that we have, so many people that are here to help. And so that's one way to help those that could be struggling through this time.
How do you kind of just like process the fragility, when you see something like that?
You never want to see it get to that point. We know the risks that we take playing this game. But when you see a life and death situation during this game, it makes you take a step back and think about everything. I think it's something that everybody can do. Obviously, it's a freak accident that nobody expects going to happen. But I think one thing that it's done, I think everybody sees the humanity in this game of the players and what, the unfortunate possibility of what can happen with playing this game.
And how tough was practice today?
Yeah, it's part of it. And I think that's one reason why we brought in the clinician, just to help, with anybody that needs that going into this. And so, I feel like we did the best we could today.
Maybe you were Ryan Shazier got hurt, and I know that's its own special situation, but is it hard to compartmentalize and immediately go back to playing the game? I know you've been on the field many times when a player's been injured, and this is its own separate thing, but has it ever just been hard to just turn your brain off and just keep going, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, that was the first thing that I thought of in that situation was, witnessing the Ryan Shazier situation. And I think the hardest part is just the unknown for everybody. Even being on the other side of it, not a teammate, a guy you're going against, but a guy you respect and plays the game the way that he did, to see him get hurt and not know what's coming from that. I think it takes everybody a moment to sit back and pause and think about it. I mean, it is hard to get right back into playing again.
A couple people were saying that seeing a player give a thumbs up or just anything as they leave the field is always kind of helpful. Obviously, Ryan wasn't able to do that, and Damar wasn't either. Does that change anything? Like, okay, you know that they're hurt, but they're okay, and that helps us be able to go back.
Yeah, I even think you go back to our game with Sweat got hurt. The first thing you're looking at is, okay, is he moving? Can I get any sign that he's going to be all right? And so, I mean, not that you can always count on that, but it definitely does give you a little bit of, hope that everything's going to be all right.
So how do you feel about playing this weekend and the idea that's been floated that maybe they'll just delay everything by 1 week?
Yeah, it's one of those things where that's how everybody's going to have to come together and talk through it all. But I think for most guys, we're going to lean on each other and go from there.
Are you okay answering some TCU questions?
Yeah.
Sorry to change the subject on that, but I wonder if you could comment on your recollection of how 2010 changed the expectations and the trajectory of TCU, what you remember from that, expectations going in, expectations coming out, and how it's all kind of led, to where they are now.
Yeah, I think when talking about my time at TCU, I think what really set us up is the year before, in 2009. We went undefeated that year, and then first chance to get to play in a BCS bowl game, and we played in the Fiesta Bowl, but didn't end up winning that game. But just for us to get to that point where we were considered for a BCS game was big, and then to go the next year and go undefeated in the regular season as well, and then with the crazy chances of us ending up in the Rose Bowl and then getting to win that game, I think that those 2 seasons really set the standard of what TCU could be, and then allowed us to get into the Big 12. And once we got in the Big 12, you've got a chance. You're in a Power 5 conference and everything. So I think what we were able to accomplish kind of towards the end of my career kind of set us up to get to this point where we're able to not only play in the college football playoffs, but compete for a national championship, and to see where the program's gone from where it started even years before I got there to where it is now. It's definitely headed in the right direction.
In what ways does it look different when you go back and visit? In what ways does it look different now from when you remember when you were a player? I'm sure there's a lot of facility changes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think every facility is different than when I was there. After my last game, my senior year, they tore down the stadium, so the stadium's completely new. And they're only improving all the facilities, so it's a different place.
Ready to go to the game?
I'm going to do my best to get there.
Thank you.
All right? Yeah, thanks, guys.